Hi, I'm Aaron from Stemple Creek Ranch. I'm here to talk with you about New York strip loin today. You can get these online on our website. I want to go over with you how to go about using it. It can be really daunting having such a large piece of meat and not really knowing what to do with it. So we'll go over some things, just have it be a good value for your dollar and how to use it to its full potential. So this is the New York strip loin that's boneless. On this side is where the bones would be, and this is the outside fat cover. It is a really nice piece of meat. It is the extension of the ribeye. So on this side would be the ribeye, and then over on this side, continue on, would be the sirloin. This section of meat really comes from the lower part of where it would be on your back. So it's nice and tender. I feel like it's underappreciated. And it's really nice because it has a nice fat cover, and I wouldn't say too lean of the muscle meat, but as we get further into it, you'll see more marbling. But the beef right now is really nice. So it's a really good cut of meat. Okay, so now we're gonna start to tie. You need to get some string, and I just put it in a cup. It keeps the ball of string clean, and then that way when you're tying it, you can, it's got a little stability. So to tie, there's so many different ways to do this. I'm gonna show you a way, I'll show you, a couple ways. And really, you don't have to get fancy with it. The real reason why you would want to tie a roast is so that it makes a bit more uniform shape, so it cooks evenly. That's pretty much it. So however you get the roast to that point, even if it's like you need to tie it like you tie your shoes, all you're trying to do is just to make it become a similar shape so it all cooks evenly. I am righty, so I take a string, the end of the string in my left hand, and then grab the other end of the string with my right hand, and then kind of like floss between the table and the meat, just to kind of move your string back and forth. And then I just kind of go up and down a couple times, that way I know the string is straight. And in my right hand, I'm gonna make kind of like a gun, where I'm holding the string here in these bottom two fingers, and the top two fingers is where the string goes over. And in my left hand, I have the open end of the string. So I'm gonna just come over my first two fingers and then back out in front of me. Next, I drop my fingers and then come around and point away from me. And now I just grab the end of that string with my two fingers and then come through and then just pull it slightly, and then you can drop the open end again. Now you have a knot that can, like a slip knot almost. And then all I do is I just put my finger here just so that I'm gonna be pulling up so that I can get the knot a little higher. So with me putting my finger here, I'm not gonna cut into the meat. Now I move the knot up there, and then you can just kind of pull it. And what I do is, especially for the first one, I'll just kind of get it into the shape somewhat that I want it to be in, and then pull, and then it locks in place. And then you can leave it like that. I typically will just do one more knot to secure it. And here, you can tie it like you would your shoes. I'm just used to doing it a little differently, and it's just with the fingers, and I'm kind of coming around and then grabbing. And all that does is just secure the knot. That way it won't come undone. Well, let's do it again. I'm going underneath. I'm using my gun, coming around and away, down and away, come through, pull slightly, and then drop the open end. And then now I can pull with this, put my finger here so it doesn't cut into the meat while I pull the string up. Pull it till it locks. And then secure the string. I'll show you another way. You know, and really, like I said, do whatever you need to do to make this happen. However creative way you want to do it is totally fine. So, you know, you can do something like this, just like you're tying your shoes. If you do that, what I would do is go over twice. That way it'll give you a little bit more security, and then pull it like that. Put your finger there. Close your knot. See, it's done the same thing. So, I'm just gonna do a couple more strings here. And you don't have to go super crazy on the amount that you do. Like I said, all you're looking to do is just keep a nice, even shape. Now, what I think I'll do, we'll cut the roast, and then we'll do the rest of it into steaks. I like to just use a bigger knife for something that I'm going to make longer knife strokes with. So, here's the New York roast, which we'll season up. I'll set to the side right now. And now the rest of this I'll turn into steaks. And here's really, you know, make it how it makes the most sense for you. You can have really thick steaks, or make some thinner, or do a mix, whatever you feel like is best for you and your family. I'll go fairly traditional. And so the way to do this is you set your knife onto where you're gonna cut it. Start to push down, I hold, cut down. So now I'm gonna leave that there because I wanna make most of these steaks all about the same size. So I'm gonna leave that there so I can see how thick that was, and I'm gonna do the next one about the same thickness. All right, so with that roast, it was on the heavier side of 9 pounds. We got 7 steaks that are about 1 inch thick, plus a roast about 5 pounds. I like just salt and pepper on the beef. I think our beef just tastes so great on its own. You don't really need to mess with it, do anything with it. A large piece of meat, I'm taking a big pinch of salt. About this distance is good because you want to do even distribution. So, just gonna sprinkle it liberally, and then while I'm turning the roast, giving the salt a chance to season the whole thing from the inside and out. So now that it's seasoned with salt, I am going to do some pepper. Okay, now I'm gonna let this sit and let the whole thing come to room temperature. So what that does is help the cooking happen a bit more evenly, so that you don't have a gray, like a real thick gray ring around the outside. All that gray ring is then it's just, it's a bit overcooked on the outside. So what we're gonna do is with this piece of meat, like I said, it's about 5 pounds. I'm gonna turn on the oven. I'll put it up high to begin with, so we'll start at like 450, and let it in there for like probably 15 minutes or so. And I'll drop it down to somewhere around like 300, 325. And all right, so the roast has been out, and I'd say for about an hour. came to room temperature, put it onto a roasting rack and a tray. What you want is to have enough room around the outside so it just doesn't feel crowded and so it doesn't like steam. You want it to roast. So put it on here, drizzled some oil onto it. I use olive oil, and then I'll pop it in the oven. All right, so I cooked this and pulled it out, let it rest and ready to cut into it. I turned the oven up to 400 degrees, preheated it, then threw it in the oven, and I left it, it was in with the skin side or the fat side down for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And then I flipped it for another 15 minutes and then dropped the temperature down to 200. In total, you know, and throughout the way, I just kind of, maybe like once before it was done, I just kind of rotated the tray that way so it would be some even distribution of heat. In total, it took about 45 minutes, but I would say give yourself, like I would start to check the temperature in about 30 minutes. What you're looking to do to take the temperature, go through the fattest end. So pick whichever end you think is the thickest, which on this, I went in through this end. And then what you want to do is go in through the side, right in the middle, like this. And then give it a few seconds to register. And then see what the temperature says. I went for between 115 and 120 degrees, and then decided to pull it out. Once you pull it out of the oven, you want to make sure to let it rest. And this rested for a half an hour. If you don't let it rest long enough and you cut into it, it'll look really beautiful at first, but then all the juice runs out and then it turns dry. And then it's no good. Even if it's hot, then it's still no good. What I'll do is cut the string. So I'm just gonna go in. All right. And now I'm gonna cut the roast. You know, just like any piece of meat, you wanna cut against the grain. So it would be like if the roast was whole, before we cut the steaks off, it would be like this. So you just wanna cut this way. So, if you can see, I think that's pretty nice. Here, since we let it come to room temperature, put it in a hot oven just to kind of get it started and then drop the temperature. It kept all that really nice juice and color. And if you see the board too, you know, it's not full of red juice and it's not spilling all out. So that is the roast, the New York roast that you can do. And then we talked about doing the steaks. The individual steaks would be cooking just like you would a regular steak. But I hope you enjoy. Hey, listen, I just had that in New York and it was delicious. The way that we cooked it made it just really soft and tender. The flavor was amazing. When I pulled it out of the oven, it smelled really sweet. It has a really nice grassiness to it. But I would say slam dunk. This is the way to go. Enjoy.